Yes, and thank you so much. And Carol has already given us a few tidbits on the panel, but now we get to really hear from her. And Carol and I got to know each other at I believe it was the Oscars or the Emmys. I can't remember anymore. We've been together so many times. And she actually saved me when I was actually on a podcast in LA and my computer just died and we immediately switched over to her computer in her hotel room. So she's a very special place in my heart. Anyway, Carol is an international podcast host. She's the founder of the Accountability and Surrender series. Sorry about that. And she is an incredible storyteller, and she really tells it from the heart. So the topic today is going to be the power in surrendering to compassion. And she, in 2025, she hosted one thing you don't know about her, and I didn't know about this either, but in 2025, she hosted her daughter's wedding at it and had 700, two daughters. Oh my gosh, two daughters' weddings and had 700 guests. That would just wipe me out. That would absolutely wipe me out. So the music she's listening to today is The Door by Teddy Swims. And her gift to everyone is a private mini consultation. And her gift to the one special person that gets it is to be on her podcast. And she is such an incredible podcast host. I've been with her and her questions are so, they're deep. They're not just this superficial, hi, how are you? What do you do kind of stuff. So welcome, Carol. Please welcome Carol to the stage. She is going to wow you.
Oh, goodness. Thank you. And first of all, how much fun. I know we keep talking about it. Oscars, Emmys, what fun we had and what we learned. And again, Deb, thank you for hosting these summits and getting us together and having us share stories. It's such a privilege. And I've loved every single thing that each speaker has shared. You know, there's nothing like a story. And what I'm speaking about, and I'm sure that was just my bad handwriting that I sent, but today I want to talk about the power of surrendering comparison. No, that's okay. Are you kidding? I hope that's the only thing that happens today. So really and truly, this the power of surrender and the power of accountability, and those things started coming together. I couldn't fight it anymore 22 years ago. And prior to that, which was 25 years ago, I had to surrender alcohol. So, you know, when we speak about surrender, we can either surrender to something or we can surrender it, whatever that something is. Surrender is and I've learned this through the conversations, people don't use the word as much as they used to, because some people look at surrendering as saying, I'm going to give my power over. I am going to submit. I am going to let someone else be in control. Now, it's something when you're speaking of, and when I did surrender alcohol, my dad had surrendered alcohol. I'm one of 11 kiddos, number 6, and there are 3 of us that have surrendered alcohol. And I learned at that time that the power of this, it's incredible. The control came with the conversation with alcohol. The control came from scheduling things around it. If you know, you certainly don't want to be driving. So all of a sudden you've got to arrange that. Well, maybe y'all don't. And I'm only giggling because things are better. And trust me, if you've ever been to an AA meeting, there's some giggling that goes on. Lots and lots of crying, but there is giggling. And I was going to probably have enough drinks that I needed to arrange driving. Let's just say that. And I'm old enough to where that was not a thing when I was younger. I mean, people didn't talk about don't drive if you've had alcohol, whole different day of stories, but thank God that has changed. Well, what I realized in these meetings, there were stories being told. It was all about the power of stories. It gives me chills when I think about it. And it was the power of the stories, and my story could be completely different than someone else's, completely, everything about it. But there would be one pearl, something that would resonate. And it's what we're storytellers in my family. And I love stories. And what I realized was, oh my gosh, I'm covered in chills. That pearl, all of a sudden, you had this string of pearls, and one after another from all these people of different walks of lives and beliefs and color and geographic locations. But we focused on what we had in common. We focused on what we needed to surrender. Well, when we would make this surrender, all of us of different backgrounds, that's why we were all paying attention. These stories are so important because of what we do have in common. And I am here to say that's why we're all here, because our stories matter. And we want to learn from one another's stories, and we want to help and support each other. That was when I realized the power of the story, everything different, but one thing in common. It's hard not to go off into an entire conversation, but globally, humankind, we are the same. We have the same needs. We hurt the same. We love the same. And we are all, I'm going to say here, as children of God. In AA, another thing that I loved was that God or your understanding of God. Many people say higher power. There have been people on this panel that speak so beautifully, and it's a different language than mine. And I'm so appreciative that everyone here is open-minded and okay with my story. Because we all come here very vulnerable. We're sharing our stories. Many of us are sharing our purpose became from pain to purpose. Well, pain to purpose came through our stories. This whole time we've all been talking about, Deb brings it up, it was talked about yesterday, all these new businesses, all these new, literally people are creating industries from pain and hurt and suffering that people need help. Everyone here is in service to other people. Personally, professionally, financially, spiritually, we are all here. In my heart and soul, I believe we are here to be of service. And as we learn more, we can be of better and more service. I mean, it's unbelievable. So with all my heart, I hope that we can, as individuals and collective, if we surrender our comparing of the story and look for what we have the same in our stories and grab a pearl from someone we never thought, number one, we'd ever meet. And I'll just go ahead and say, thanks to the pandemic, speaking of surrendering words, I mean, it's unbelievable that we can have global conversations without anyone telling us what to do, what to think, how to work. We get to learn from each other and do it authentically, because I might have the same exact message that Kathy has. People, a lot of people are not going to hear that from me, but they are going to hear it from Kathy. This is about a collective sharing of service, of help. There's this incredible story, true story, and this gentleman speaks now. He was walking home from school, and the fella in front of him had all of his books, all of his stuff, his athletic equipment and his books and his notebooks and, his lunchbox, and he drops everything. Well, the gentleman that was following him, a young man, I love so much, Suzette, that you work with teenagers. It's like, it makes me want to cry. And this young, very, let's just say they're popular kids. He was a popular kid. And he goes and he helps that kiddo. And he said, my goodness, you're taking home every single solitary thing out of your locker. I can't even believe it. I couldn't carry that if I tried. And they kind of giggled and went about their business. The young man who had dropped everything said later he was going home to take his life. And the kindness of that man saved his life. When we share our stories and we share the kindness and we share an apology, to tell your kiddos at night, you matter, I love you. I just think that so often we're comparing, I wish I was a better parent. I wish I was a better writer. I wish I was a better anything. We're not, again, let's surrender the words and let's say, I can do this. And I'm going to get better and better at it. The more I do it, the better I'm going to get at it. And I'm going to look for the helpers. Deb is a helper. She helps us tell our stories. You all, everyone that I've heard speak here, you're a helper. You're brave. My goodness. This is so funny. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it in my positive words because, I really do try to walk the talk. And my story in the 262 book, I thought, well, sure. Deb said the deadline's sometime and ADHD. I did it the night before and I wrote it. I said, well, that's not very good, but it's a true story. And I knew she was going to allow me to be as good as I could be at that day, on that day. And that my story meant something. And that I was going to get better at telling stories in script. But if I were to compare, I'll never write again. Never again would I write down a word for anyone to see if I were to compare it. Goodness grace is going to share a book today. Melissa's book that I've read, incredible. And there's so much conflict that goes on between our ears and what we decide to listen to. I believe that it is time, especially for those of us that want to be helpers. We want to be of service. We want to learn from one another's stories, and we want to be storytellers. I believe it's time to be accountable. Deb said one time, Carroll, it's not very sexy. And it is the truth. But my goodness gracious, it is sexy to get better and to learn and to become accountable, to sit down and do active listening and find a pearl. And I'm going to challenge myself and every one of you. What if you're listening to a story, oh my gosh, of somebody that you think, I cannot be in the presence of this person. This is not a person I want to hear from. I challenge each of us. There's something we are comparing, number one. But number two is, I challenge us to think there must be something, we both have those two wolves in our lives. And maybe, just maybe, it's mirroring something we're afraid of within ourselves. And I also want to challenge us to listen to those that are so different so we can become more compassionate, more understanding, and more helpful to those that we do share life with. Because in these stories and these people that we might not want to, I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, we don't want to. There's a pearl in there. Maybe it's we're going to parent differently. Maybe we're going to be friend. Maybe we're going to be kinder. Maybe we are going to jump on one of these wonderful summits and say, I didn't want to listen to this person, but it was important because they have to be in my life. I can draw boundaries, but they are still a part of my life because of whatever the circumstances are. Where did that person come from? My gosh, and I'm going to go back to Suzette, those kiddos that come in with the parents and the stories, and it's this cycle, right? Thank God for people. Thank God for each of you. Let's stop comparing. Let's start grabbing the pearls. My gosh, there's been a lot this amazing 2 days. I mean, I feel like I could open a jewelry store. This is, I mean, all the things we're learning. It's just unreal. I can't wait to have a movie and a book and all the stuff, and we can do it. But really and truly, I'm so grateful to be able to be here to listen to your stories, to grab a pearl and hear it's many more than one pearl in each of your stories. And let's not compare, let's do and look for the helpers. I submit to each of you that there's not one person that has been on this stage that is not a helper, that you and I could not reach out to and say, your story touched me. I'm having a hard time here. My brother's having a hard time here. The stories connect us, they can heal us, they teach us, and people of all levels of education can learn through stories. I'm going to stop by saying you are incredible children of God. It makes me want to cry. And there's so many people out there, y'all, that do not know that their stories matter. They don't know. They don't know they're loved. They don't know they're important. And they don't know that their stories can save other people's lives. And I think it's our job. I feel accountable to share all of your stories and all of our stories as much as possible and reach as many people as possible, because I believe in surrender to God for me, Father, Son, Holy Spirit. And I will just say this: surrender to love, unconditional love that is there for each of you and all of us. And yet, even all those people you don't want to hang out with. Thank you.
Wow, Carol, your words always touch me to my inner soul. And I think that your message is so important, to listen for those pearls, listen, because there's something you can learn from everybody. And thank you for reminding us that way and of that. And it's the active listening. It's not listening to debate. It's not listening to correct. It's just listening to learn. And I think that's so powerful. We do have a few more minutes, so I wondered if you could just share a little bit about your podcast, because I know several of us on this summit have been blessed to be guests on those. And I think it's such a powerful podcast. If you could share a little bit about what it is you talk about and why.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for asking. It's conversations. It's all about sharing stories, and stories of all that are willing to share about every subject you could possibly imagine. I just believe in the power of storytelling. Everything started because I'm one of 11 children. And so the production company is one of 11 productions. And I was going to tell the story of growing up as one of 11 kiddos, as number 6. Well, what I figured out was that my brothers and sisters are not very cooperative. And so I thought, well, this is disappointing. I have this fabulous, we have one of our sisters, she's written, I don't know, 8 best-selling books and required reading, and it's, young adults and all that. She cannot write. She's really, really, really nice. But she's so nice that she can't tell the story with the bad stuff in it. So I was counting on the rest of us. We talk about being on the mean wall or the nice wall. And there's at least half of us, you kind of go from one wall to the other. And half of people, I thought, well, they'll tell the bad stuff. Let me tell you, they weren't doing it. So I said, okay, y'all are absolutely so irritating right this minute. So until y'all are willing, I'm going to move this forward, and I am going to invite others to share their stories. And it has been absolutely educational. People that want to speak about their charities, because there's so many incredible charities and, nonprofits that I can't give financially to all of them. However, I thought, you know what? Time, talent, treasure. I can give my time and I can share a place for other people. And it's been remarkable to, and it's so funny, like Deb said, I mean, when I started this, I said, oh, I'm going to start a podcast. Like you do. This was before I knew Deb, and I didn't know to call her and say, well, how in the world am I going to do that? And I just did it. I found the helpers. It has been the most fulfilling position, if you will, that I've ever had. I've always wanted to be in film and entertainment and the movies. I've always been fascinated by it. But when I was younger, they didn't know what ADHD was. And I have all these things that I can do and I can connect them all. And I didn't have a helper to say, okay, we're going to do one at a time. It was just like, oh my God, she has too many ideas. My dad would say, baby Carroll, you ask way too many questions.
Well, thank you.
And I just love it. Y'all are all invited. Please come. I just so appreciate each of you, and thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you, Carol. And I'm going to hand this over to Deb before I ask the question so that she can give us her thoughts.
Oh, you want my thoughts about Carroll Patrizi? We spent a lot of time together, and there's lots of great connections. Honestly, I just love how you share. Someone talked about it earlier about how this summit is very different. It has a different flavor because it really, the conversations of depth that happens here and sharing and transparency, but also learning. Like if you listen to Carol talk, for me, I heard community. I heard getting clear. I heard being good with yourself. I heard good human acts in the world, right? I heard sometimes it's like, and you've probably heard it too, it's like, if someone's not your cup of tea, it might just not be your business. Like, might just not be your business, And so these things are what I call, I kind of, and you guys know, I think in the top performance, I think it's that 1 to 3%. It's not always the big leaps, it's the shifts, it's the different way to look at something that just escalates and elevates your life. And inevitably, I know I'm looking at a room full of people that are in business. It also plays out in all areas of your life. Like you feel good. We've talked about that, the energy, the vibration of this. It definitely makes an effect in every area, whether it's your bank account or your soul account. So I just appreciate Carol. We talk a lot. Yes, we've been at incredible events together. And look, we've had a lot of conversation today, more than ever, that we've had about the Emmys and the Oscars. I don't want anyone to feel like they're left out. If you want to be part of the 262 movement and you want to come to LA with us, then call me. Like, let's go. Like, let's do this. Like, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to say that, and I love and adore you, and we got some things up our sleeve. That's what I'm going to say.
Sounds great. And I think one of the big messages that I really take away from this is don't judge somebody before you know their story, because as Carol said, you can learn from everybody. So I think that's just an important takeaway. So I'm going to ask the question, and it's hard to think of one that might be a little perplexing because Carol is so good at telling her story that
we're at the stage where just give something easy. Do
exactly.
something easy.
So,
Make winning easy now.
right. So the question is, Carol named 3 T's of things that you can give. And so the one is time, one is talent, and what is the third one?
Ooh, that was interesting. All right, so let's do some love and some hearts and some jazz hands and all the things. Let's